The following was recorded in front of a live studio audience at the Studio 21 Podcast Cafe. This is the United Podcast Network.
Welcome to the Writer's Block Podcast NH. This is a podcast designed by writers for writers on the journey to being published. Joined Mandra Biscornet.
It was so healthy and nutritious.
Deborah Monk.
Can we open each podcast with a dance number?
Shelly Devlin.
It was so full of inspiration and sparkles.
Every Tuesday morning live on YouTube. And make sure you subscribe to catch the podcast anytime on iTunes, iHeartRadio, Podbean, Spotify, or your favorite podcast catcher. It's time to be inspired, feel empowered, and be well with the Writer's Block Podcast NH.
And welcome to the Writer's Block Podcast. I'm Mandra, and I am your Keep It Real girl.
I'm Debbie, and today we're going to talk about how the marriage of writing and real life is sometimes passionate, sometimes tumultuous, chaotic, boring, not meeting your needs, and sometimes you're just going through a dry spell.
And I'm Shelly. The power of manifesting can be dangerous. I need an 8th day in the week. So if you haven't figured it out yet, today's show is all about keeping it real here on the Writer's Block Podcast, where we're going to try to keep writing in our lives where we do 50,000 other things that we need to get done.
And for people who are just listening on the podcast, there was an entire elaborate wardrobe
Production.
change that you couldn't hear because we muted the mics, but now everyone's wearing a different outfit. T-shirts that say, keep it real.
Right. That Deb got for us, so thanks, Deb.
Yes. I love our uniform. I love our new uniform.
Our uniform.
I love costumes.
I'm glad it wasn't a dance number. I'm good
Right.
with the
It's
T-shirt.
coming.
Right.
Oh, God.
So who wants to start with how we're keeping it real?
I think Shelly should start because
Yeah.
she's the one who
She kind of kicked this whole thing
Yeah.
off, didn't she?
Yeah.
So I woke up one morning at like 5 a.m. with my head so full of life, keeping it real, that I had to actually diagram out. So I made the center, the core is my husband and I. And then all these spikes. So it looked like a giant sun when it was done.
Okay.
But all the spikes were all of the things in my life that are fabulous, but they all need some time.
Like what?
Like getting back into exercising, so important as the
As
over-
Mandra B. Well
the
will
over
tell us.
50 and Mandra B. Well. I would like to live a long time. I want to celebrate my 100th birthday. So
Yes.
exercise, eating right, laundry, dishes, like all of that stuff. Writing a book, working behind the chair, traveling in my teaching job. My son's dream is to open a restaurant, and I'm going to be right by his side to help him do that, whatever it takes. So there's so many things that are currently going on that I needed to write it down.
That are all sucking or searching for your time.
Yes, but they're all, my initial plan was to write it down to see what I could kind of cross off or, shorten the time on. And so maybe a couple of things, maybe hire a housekeeper, somebody that does those little things that truly only take minutes, but they take minutes of time and a little bit of brain space as
Plus
well.
minutes plus minutes plus minutes equals an hour.
Equals yes. And then, and I even said this out loud to you guys, which I don't feel that way today. So when I did that, I was like, maybe my book needs to take a slight back seat
Right.
to my son's restaurant. My son's restaurant isn't going to take as much physical time, but my brain, and you guys know, when I manifest something and decide something is going to happen,
It
I can't
happens.
shut it off. I go to sleep thinking about it. I sleep thinking about it. I wake up thinking about it.
Yeah.
And it's just everything. So today I feel like I have time for the book. And I had dinner with him last night, and he just, we talked the whole night on how we're going to work on getting investors, and this restaurant's going to happen. And so it's just, I need an 8th day in the week to make it happen. But
Right, but you don't get that.
Right.
but I'm grateful that all my little spikes off my sunshine
Are all good things.
are all good things.
Right.
They're all good things.
Yeah.
So there's nothing, which is kind of, that was a little disappointing.
You
in
were
the end,
hoping you could
oh,
take
shoot,
some
I
off.
can't take any spikes off. Yeah.
Right.
Right.
So yeah, it's just keeping it real on
That it's just that
on
it's
what we
not
can do.
easy.
We're only human.
Right.
We're only human.
Exactly. And that's how I was feeling a few weeks ago when it was very busy recital festival season at my work. And I said, girls, I'm not going to be able to meet. I don't even think I'll be able to Skype, because for 3 or 4 weeks, that took over my world. Having done it for so many years, I know that there's an end. So I'm going to have this really busy, crazy 3 or 4 weeks where laundry will not get done, writing a book will not get done. I'm lucky if, showering and getting to the right place I'm supposed to be gets done. And it's good stuff. It's fun. But I also know that that ends. And once that ends, then I can go back to the book, that there's more of this seasonal shift for me, that, okay, summer's a time when I can really crack into my manuscript and get some stuff done. But then there are these other parts of the year where it's not going to happen as much, and to kind of have that. Because in the middle, like when you're in the middle of it, you can't see the light at the end of that
keeping ahead of the
tunnel.
anxiety that could happen easily from everything that we have to do.
But allowing yourself to say, okay, right now it's busy time, but it's not going to be like this forever, and it will change, and then you'll be able to get back to that.
I just wish there was an Inspector Gadget little button that we could press, and our superhero capes would just like jolt out the back of us.
I want to make one.
I knew you would love that. It would just say, keep it real on the back of the cape.
Oh. Yeah. Your cape would say that. Mine would not say that. I'm not sure. Kelly.
I'm
Who's
keeping
Kelly?
it so real today.
Who's Kelly? Shelly's would say inspire, spelled her
Yes.
way. I
Yeah,
don't know
correct.
what my cape would say yet. Oh, I might make us
Passion.
capes.
And what color would it be?
Oh, see, that's what I mean.
passion.
That gets me. Yuck. She just gets me. I love it when she gets me like that. Okay. Sewing. Fortunately, my grandmother taught me to sew, so we may
my
have some
God.
capes.
I love it.
Preference in colors?
Well,
girls?
we will have a rehearsal before we do the cape wearing one.
We'll spin around.
Hey,
we'll
there's
get
like staging
boots.
up here. We could probably
Yes.
hang from the ceiling. Mine would be blue. Just so you know.
Okay. Make it a mental note. Mine's probably purple.
Yeah.
Green.
Green.
Mandra's
Yeah.
the green.
Yep. Ooh, nobody's red. Jonathan, you want a cape?
No.
No.
Not interested.
Please.
Not interested.
Everything I have at home, every time I have something, he'll say it's stupid, and I get a big globe or I get feathers, and as soon as they arrive, he suddenly takes them and sometimes does something better with them than I had him planned, which just pisses me right off. Anywho.
How do you keep it real, Deb?
Well, I'm just in thinking, I feel in one way that we're, that my second book is coming out, that, I feel like I've kind of proven that I'm a writer. But underneath it all, I still have this feeling that I haven't committed enough, that I haven't immersed myself into it enough, that I'm not brave enough, and that I have to realize I'm still becoming the writer I want to be, and that it just takes more bravery, more depth, more consistency, more deepness. And it's, really recognizing that is what I want. So to just say, you know what, I'm just going to keep walking out. I'm leaving the shore behind. I can still see it. I wish I was further out. I'm not there yet. But that I just have to keep walking. The water's probably at my nose, and I'm like, but I can still stick it up. And I just want to, just feel like it's go. And I
feel like you're being safe?
A little bit. And I don't like, I want to be safe, but I don't like that.
Right.
So yeah, that's kind of where I'm trying to keep it real, trying to remind myself.
How can we help you with that? Is there something we can do?
Kidnap me?
Kidnap you?
Yeah.
Or buy you plane tickets and send you places or something? Or
Sure, that'll work.
I'll accept that as a gift.
All plane
If you
tickets
would like to do
welcome.
that, sure.
I don't know if that'll help, but I'll go surfing. Maybe surfing. Anyhow.
That keeps coming up. So
It does.
It does.
I
So
think you
does the take a month off and ride around and write things.
I
that
know.
you,
And I did
your tour
19
that you
days
wanted to
in
get me
Bali.
on.
Right. Yeah, see, it's that. And like, here's an example. Last week, I don't think I already talked about this on the show, so if I did, stop me. But last week we were here, and I was saying I wanted to do this little Laverne and Shirley little video. And there were 4 of us, between the 3 of us and Jonathan. And here's a good
And
example.
Stephanie Queen was
and
here.
Stephanie's. Yeah. Yes.
Oh, that's right.
That was
maybe
us.
she was the 4th one.
She
But
was
no,
on. She was on
it
our
was
side
before
too.
she got here, because it was
Okay.
definitely the 4 of us, because I remember thinking, okay, it's time. Because I said I want to do this, and Shelly said, I think you should. Mandra said no, and Jonathan said no
And Stephanie said yes.
after the fact.
Yes.
Once she got here. But that was, And I left thinking, okay, I probably shouldn't. Maybe I shouldn't. Maybe it's not the smartest thing I can do. But I just thought, but that doesn't matter. I don't want to do the smart thing. I want to do what I want to do. So I did reach out this week, and Carol, I don't know who's Laverne and who's Shirley, but don't worry, it's coming.
You have someone to do the
Yes,
video with
and
you.
she's excited.
All right, you still
that's
have me
great.
down for Thelma and
You did-
Louise,
I
right?
have the script.
Okay.
Remind me after the show to tell you.
Okay.
Yeah.
And are we dressing Jonathan up as Brad Pitt in the backseat?
Don't even, because that's part of, I have a brilliant
We have
idea.
Brad Pitt?
We do.
We actually
You're
have
gonna
Brad
love
Pitt?
it, yes.
Oh my God, I can't wait. Okay.
You mean I'm out that fast?
Well, if she goes Brad Pitt,
Jonathan, Brad Pitt.
he has
It's a leverage thing.
I think it's just that he has experience.
His acting
His
experience.
acting experience.
He has a bigger
I guess
social
I'm gonna-
media following than you do.
Yes.
I'm going to cancel my appointment to have my chest waxed.
And your spray tan.
Oh, my staff was looking forward to that, though. We probably shouldn't cancel that.
Oh gosh. Well, should we do some project updates and how we're keeping it real in our?
I think it
In
all
our
connects to the
works?
keeping
Yeah.
it real,
It
for
does.
sure.
It does.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I have a
Do you have a project?
Do you have a
Logis-
project update?
no. I have a logistics question.
Okay.
Is this the same as walking around the neighborhood, or are they separate?
No, they are separate. So there will
Okay.
be
We'll
As
cue
you were.
you.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep. Well, my project update is that, and it is kind of keeping it real because I thought I was so far along and I was editing, I was halfway through my editing process and just needed to rework some things at the end. And then I went and read a few memoirs and a couple, just the beginnings, sort of, to kind of see how they started, and decided that the beginning of mine could be better. So I went all the way back to the beginning.
That's where this came out of,
Yes.
the blue. Okay.
Yes.
Which ones did you read?
I read one, I can't remember the name of it, but it's about a cardiac surgeon, and he's done over 15,000 cardiac operations. And so it was just the beginning of his, and it was so interesting because he's talking about doing a certain procedure, but you don't know until the end of it that he's
Yeah.
actually doing the procedure on, as a demonstration with all these medical students around watching it. So it's not a person. But you don't know that until you read the end. So I was like, well, that's a cool way to start too. So I read the beginning of mine and thought, there's a lot of telling. Maybe I could show more. Maybe I could kind of do it with a better hook. So that's why I
Right.
rewrote that beginning, sent it to both of you, with the hopes that we can talk about it at our next writers
Right.
group.
Well, and
see.
when she sent it, I wrote back that I thought that she had some new stuff that was good, but I also knew we were missing some of the original stuff. So
Right.
she sent us.
Right.
We also have
original.
the original, and both Shelly and I agree. You edited out some of your good stuff.
Yeah.
And so that editing thing, you're in the forest, the trees. You just have no idea at that point. Some of your best stuff you start to see as, oh, that seems a little cliche.
Right.
And you take it out. That's why you need to find the people you trust.
Well, I'm so glad I
Yeah.
sent it to you guys. And I
Yes.
was feeling very taking 18 steps backwards. I'm
Right.
editing on page 145, and here I am rewriting on page 1.
Yep.
And do I have to do this for the whole
Yeah, you do.
darn thing?
And then you're going to send it to an editor, and then you're going to do it again.
I know.
Welcome to hell.
And you're going to like it.
No,
Keeping
finally.
it real.
Yeah,
Keeping it real.
Yeah, you
It's
got.
quite a process.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's going to be fun too once you've been through it, because then
I'm not
then
sure that it will ever be
It's
fun.
going to be it's going to be fun for me.
Yeah, for
to
you
have some
maybe.
company, because now you'll understand.
Yeah.
That by the end, sometimes I send to you guys because I don't even know anymore.
Right.
So
Is this even good to even bother?
yeah,
Oh,
no,
God,
that's keeping
right?
it real. Yeah.
That's the part where you just
Yeah.
head
Shelley's
towards the
been
lake,
there.
keep walking until your nose
But
is
that's
under
why
the water.
you need a group, or you need
Lifeline.
Yeah.
someone to talk you through it. Yeah.
All right. Well, my project update today is ready. Oh, I wish I should have planned this. What do you do? Trumpets. Doo-doo-doo. Doo-doo-doo-doo. Here is the proof of Julia Stone.
Wow.
Yes.
It's
wanna
so
touch it.
pretty.
Yes. So I should have.
So beautiful.
I can post a picture of this.
Yes, post a picture.
You know,
of
and
this.
so many
With her
times,
Keep
keeping
It
it
Real
real. How many
shirts.
times
Right.
did you edit? And even with lighting, it was make the sweater lighter so that you can see the yarn in the sweater, and all of those tiny details that
Yeah.
seems like poof, here's the cover, but it wasn't so poof.
Oh, it's no poof
Just
at
dragging through
all.
the mud.
Right.
Yeah.
And actually, to be honest, I've made a couple of changes. I'm going to get one more proof before I put it out.
Wow.
So this isn't, this actually,
you already decided
Are you
stuff
gonna
you're
go with
gonna
the matte?
change?
this is a glossy cover,
Yeah.
and I am going to try. I'm ordering the matte.
To see.
There are a few other little changes. I even changed the back cover because when it came, I felt like it was a little heavy. It was kind of chunky. And so I broke this up and I have more white space.
God,
So
it's an endless.
So
Yes.
rewriting
Endless.
the beginning of mine is just
That's just the
I am
beginning
so
of
the beginning.
Yes. So
Dun,
see,
dun.
on the back here, you can see proof. This isn't for sale.
Proof.
This is not.
I see. I look at that in a whole different way. That proof, it's here.
It's
Right?
oh, I like that.
Poof. We're like,
And
Yes.
proof.
Yes, so
I love it.
we're hopefully within weeks. I'll get the second proof, make the final consolidation of the two,
Yep.
and then it should be good to go.
that's exciting.
My project
Shell.
update, besides just taking all of it and just setting it on a shelf or putting it in a drawer, I got some strength back. And I played around with the front cover. I decided that my cover artist is going to be. See, I had to take a break to the art side and not
That's
the
okay.
actual meat.
But
I
that's
have
okay.
meat update too. Okay.
Okay.
But the front cover, I'm definitely going to have designed by my good friend Michelle, who's been helping me with some of the writing too. And she did illustrations and all of. She had published a children's book and did all the illustrations. And she's a great artist. So she's working on a pencil sketch of a hydraulic chair. So as the chair turns, I actually came up with a tagline, not a log line or an elevator speech.
Because now we know the
but
difference.
now we know the difference.
What's your
My tagline is going to be a book of lessons, love, discovery, and life. And that's kind of over the picture of the hydraulic chair as the chair turns.
That's good,
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, it'll probably be tweaked by the time it's actually in print, but.
Right.
and it'll be proofed and
Right?
Edited.
And
Yeah.
edited a million times.
colored.
And then I decided, again, art, that I printed out my entire book one, I guess we'll call it, because we're not sure if it's going to be book one of lessons, book two of love, book three of discovery, book four of life. I'm not sure. But I printed out the first part of lessons, and I got a red pen, and I'm taking it on vacation with me, and I'm going to sit on the beach, and I'm just going to read it like I've never read it before. And I'm going to
Wonderful.
use my red pen to make notes.
Perfect.
So
There's your
my
plan.
project
That's a
update. I
good
got a
That's
plan.
it. It is. You've done some work and you have a plan.
Right.
So, and you're going on vacation. So here's sort of the flux of keeping it real, right?
Yes.
There'll be some time
Yes.
to focus on that. Mm-hmm. There was not always that big chunks of time,
Not
and that's
always.
okay.
Absolutely.
Right.
All right.
So now
I think it is now time to walk around the neighborhood.
Deb, I love it. It's so pretty.
Oh, we're such a talented group here, aren't we?
So nostalgic.
So who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
All right.
So I am continuing on our sort of lessons of gratitude. And last time I talked about being grateful for a really big thing, my husband's transplant and getting a donor heart and being 10 years post-transplant, which is awesome. But today I'm going to talk about sort of like the small things because you don't always want to have something like that. So the way I sort of work it into my life is first thing in the morning, as I start to kind of wake up before I even get out of bed, I go through my head of a few things that I'm grateful for. And it might be my 6-year-old sleeping in the room next door. Mm-hmm. It might be the fact that I'm waking up in my own bed because,
Right.
you know, I'm
Because
not waking
you
up
have
in
a
a house.
bed
I have
and
a
a
bed.
house.
And exactly. And I'm grateful for that. Even when there are mice in it and it's falling apart, I'm grateful. It could be the day that, you know, I'm grateful for the fact that I get to get up and have a day, go to a job or come to a podcast. You know, so it can be small things, but it sets your day off right. You know, it's a really good start. Some people may choose to do it in the evenings, or you can do it a little bit all throughout your day while you're driving. And the more you do that, the more you're going to sort of bring things to be grateful for.
Right. I do believe what you focus on grows. So if you're thinking about good things, you're getting more good things. If you're thinking about bad things, you're getting more bad things.
So
But
true.
as you do it, you actually have to feel those feelings
Right.
of being
It's not just
thankful.
thinking.
Right. It's
Right.
not a checklist. It's
Right.
feel that emotion. And I think it's such a mood shifter and a game changer. So it's sort of a daily practice that you can try out for a few days and see what happens.
You'll see the difference.
Yeah.
It works.
Yeah.
Let's use that then to dance over to Life Pondering Square.
Let's do it.
Let's use our gratitude and pretend this is already happening. So what I have here today is I have I make greeting cards with magnets, because then your greeting card becomes a gift that lasts forever. So when you send the card, instead of somebody keeping it for 3 days and throwing it away, they get to take the magnet off and keep the sentiment that you sent to them. I think it's a brilliant idea. I've been thinking it's a brilliant idea for many years now. And I have made, I think this is probably my 6th or 7th line, but this is the complete new line that I had started right before I went to Bali. And I'm sending it to the paper store today.
Wow,
yes,
exciting.
I have sent 6 lines to them.
Okay.
And they have very, very kindly and lovingly rejected me. But this is just proof of, I love them so much.
So this is 7, number 7?
I think it's 6 or 7. I'm not sure. I know.
Well, it could be 7 because 7 is lucky 7.
Okay.
Lucky 7.
Yeah. And they're, it doesn't, I don't know. So, but I'm very excited to send them today and we'll see, keep our fingers crossed, use a little gratitude and manifest in the paper store starts carrying Life Pondering cards.
And how grateful that you can create these.
And
put them together.
I
They're
love
beautiful.
them.
Yeah.
I just love them. They're so infused. And one of my favorite is this. It has it has my logo. And it says, one way to find yourself is to get lost in something you love. And that is what these cards are. Yes. Mm-hmm. So.
You know, it's so funny because that means something to you specifically in your own life. But when somebody else picks that card up, they relate it to something in their own life. Mm-hmm. So just that one card could be connected to endless stories.
The sentiment is right. Mm-hmm. The more you love something, when I'm making cards, there is no time. It just hours can go by. I'm just lost in it.
Right.
So they're ready to go today. They're
We're
going
gonna
to
have
have
pictures of these up.
What's that?
We'll put pictures of these up when we.
I've been posting them on some of them on Magnet Monday, and I'll continue to do that until I'm through the whole line. And by then, hopefully, they'll be available at the paper store.
I love it.
All right.
I love it.
Let's rock it on over.
Rocket it on over. Mandra, you'll be so proud of me because my life is so full because I can't half-ass anything, right? I just can't do it. So not only did I plant one garden this weekend up at our cabin, but I planted 2, one at our home
impressed.
and one at the cabin. So
impressed.
35 tomato plants. I'm going to have
Wow.
tomatoes coming out.
You're going to be making some sauce.
wazoo.
We might get
Sauce
some tomatoes.
and salsa because I also have like at least 13 different kinds of pepper plants that I planted at the house this weekend too. So 2 gardens.
Yep.
Keeping it healthy.
Yeah.
I did a little yoga while I was planting. You know,
You did some good stretching.
I
up
did
and
some
down, I'm
stretching
sure.
up and down.
Yes.
Could feel it. Yeah,
You're connecting with your food.
absolutely.
I'm blown away. I'm so impressed.
See, I did it.
We'll do some veggie trading.
It's
when-
important. It's a
Yes.
little spike off of my son. I
That's
need to
right.
have good, nice, organic,
Yep. Healthy foods.
healthy foods.
So you used your downward-facing dog to push the seed into the soil?
I
I'm
did.
confused
did.
as to how the
And
two...
then when I left the cabin, I did a little child like, Mother Earth, please rain on this garden because I won't be back for 6 weeks.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. It'll happen.
It will. It's New England. It'll rain a few times between
That's
now
right.
and then.
That's
yes.
right.
Well, I think we kept it pretty real today, ladies.
I think we did.
Good job. Thank you for listening, and please check out the Writer's Block NH Facebook and the Writer's Block podcast on Podbean or your favorite podcast catcher. May you be inspired, feel empowered, and be well. Attention cigar smokers or even friends of a cigar smoker. If you're looking to relax with a nice premium cigar or looking for a great gift for a cigar smoker, this is the gift that keeps on giving. Our friends at twoguyscigars.com have created the Cigar of the Month Club. For just $19.99 per month, you or a friend will receive 4 different premium handmade cigars every month, and shipping and handling is included.
Contact twoguyscigars.com. That's the number 2, guyscigars.com, and go to the Cigar of the Month Club. You can stop anytime because there's no contract, but you won't. This is a tremendous deal for our listeners. Go to twoguyscigars.com. That's the number 2, guyscigars.com, and click the Cigar of the Month Club.
At the same time, if you want to learn more about the cigars you receive each month, you can smoke along with them on our own podcast called The Cigar Authority. Sit back, relax, and enjoy a nice premium cigar from our friends at twoguyscigars.com.
The views and opinions expressed by the hosts, guests, or callers of this program do not necessarily reflect the opinions of the Studio 21 Podcast Cafe, the United Podcast Network, its partners, or affiliates.